What's going on YouTube? You got Matt here and welcome back to another top 6 video. Today we're going to be covering the top 6 electric types in the draft league format, and the normal type has kind of slid down a bit. I think it's been now 3 weeks where it's been on the list and it hasn't been chosen. So next week we're going to be either doing the normal type or the fighting type, so make sure to vote in the straw poll link in the description. And you guys really seem to enjoy these videos. They're extremely popular on the channel, routinely passing over 50 views, so I just want to make sure that I keep pumping these out for you every week. And don't worry, once the types all end, I will have more top 6s coming out. I have a few different ideas that I think can make the series last for another few weeks after that, probably even into maybe even the end of the year, if I'm lucky. But yeah, so these are the top 6 electric types in the draft league format. Again, this is completely based on my opinion, so if you guys think I'm wrong, don't be afraid to call me names or you know what, give me shit or whatever it may be in the comments below and tell me what you think should be the top 6. But yeah, again, there's gonna be no megas on this list. If there were, Mega Manectric would probably be on it. Mega Ampharos is decent. I can't promise that it would be on the list though, but you know what I mean, guys. There are a ton of good electric types, and the list is really hard to choose from because a few of them have many different typings. You have the electric flyings, you have the Rotom forms, which have multiple different typings. You have the Magnezone family, which has electric and steel. There are a ton of different secondary typings that electrics have, which make them very unique and can add to their strengths, but also really hinder them in certain ways. So because of this list, I decided to base my opinions on how they perform as electric types instead of as their secondary typings if the Mon has a secondary typing. So if you guys are ready and if you guys are excited for the start of another top 6 video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe down low if you're new. We are super close to 50 subscribers. At the time I'm recording this, I believe we're at 46, and yeah, I think the end of the month is coming up in a few days, so just make sure that if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so. We're so close to our goal of 50 subscribers, so yeah. But anyways, let's get into the top 6 electric types in the draft league format. Coming in at number 6, we have Tapu Koko, and most of you would probably be surprised that I have it this low, but the reason I do is because of its stat distribution. As an electric type, it's mostly used as a special attacker because of that powerful, because of the powerful electric attacks that it gets. Thunderbolt, you get access to Volt Switch, you have Dazzling Gleam as well for those fairy coverage, also the hidden powers. But unfortunately, its attack stat is 20 points higher than its special attack stat, making it a very usable physically offensive Mon. I just find that if Game Freak switched the attack and the special attack of this Mon, then it would be very, very good. It would be used much more. It would be used in most builds. Honestly, it would be almost as good as Tapu Lele in my opinion, just based on what it could do. Tapu Lele is obviously much better, but Tapu Koko still comes in and is a very effective Tapu, a very effective electric type. But you see it has incredible base 130 speed, and that's a lot it's what I look for in an electric type. Very fast, at least base 80 speed, and yeah, just something that can Volt Switch around and get out of there, create momentum, and hit those water and flying types super hard with their powerful stab attacks. But looking at its move pool, you have a very good physical move pool. You get access to Acrobatics and Brave Bird, which can be used to hit those grass types that kind of give you some issues. You can hit, Mega Venusaur now with it, and that's good because this Mega Venusaur kind of walled this Pokemon, and a Choice Banded Brave Bird or I believe a Expert Belt Brave Bird from an Adamant or Jolly Tapu Koko still does a ton of damage to a Mega Venusaur, which is great. But you get Calm Mind to set up, you have Dazzling Gleam for your Fairy Stab, you don't get Moonblast unfortunately, which kind of sucks, but you can make do without it. You get coverage with Grass Knot and all the hidden powers. You have access to Nature's Madness, which is a very useful move to wear down some of those really bulky walls that can set up in your face or that can just be a nuisance to the rest of your team. But you get access to Quick Attack for priority, you have dual screens as well, you have Roost for recovery, which is excellent, you're a fast taunter as well, which can be very, very useful in the format. You have access to all these electric type moves, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Volt Switch, Wild Charge as well for the physical set. But then you also have U-Turn, so you can get out of there against those ground types or those mons with Motor Drive or Lightning Rod against you. But yeah, that's Tapu Koko. Really nothing else too impressive. The only thing I will say though is it does have access to a very great ability in Electric Surge, which sends the electric terrain, and this will boost up your electric attacks and every electric attack by Pokemon used that are on the ground. It'll boost that attack, and that's very useful in the format. It allows you to hit so much harder, and I'm pretty sure it's basically a double, or it's either it doubles or it does it by 1.5. So it's either like a choice item or a or what is it, another stab boost, I guess. But yeah, that's Tapu Koko. It's a very good mon. It's very good in the format, just not exactly what I look for in a electric type because it doesn't have that great special attack stat. It also doesn't have many options to do damage outside of its standard sets, I'd say. But yeah, that's Tapu Koko. And moving on though, we actually have Eelektross, and Eelektross was a mon that I really didn't like when I first started the format, but as I started playing more and more, I realized that prepping this thing became a real issue because it is very bulky. Having 85 and 85 on its HP and then 80 on both defenses, you can really just put an Assault Vest on this thing and it can take a lot of hits, and you pair it with an effective Wish Passer, or even just give it a move like a Drain Punch or Giga Drain, which it gets both, so Drain Punch and Giga Drain. There we go. You have a decent amount of recovery, and you can really use its excellent coverage to your advantage. It also has really excellent attack stats. At 115 attack and 105 special attack, you can do a lot of different damage, and again, you also do get U-turn and Volt Switch with this thing. It doesn't have the greatest speed stat, but it is a slow Volt Switcher, which some people find very useful in the format. I personally prefer a faster Volt Switcher, that's why I have it all the way down number 5, but its coverage options are terrific. You have access to Acid Spray for Fairy types, you have Acrobatics, Aqua Tail, Brick Break is good, Crunch, Discharge for your Electric Stab, you have Dragon Claw and Dragon Pulse, which are all great, you have Fighting Stab, you have Fighting, not Stab, but you have a Fighting Attack and Drain Punch, you get access to Fire coverage for those Steel types, you have Flash Cannon for those Fairy types again, you have Giga Drain and Grass Knot for, again, those bulky waters or those bulky grounds. You get Knockoff, which is great. You're one of the few electric types that does get Knockoff. You have Outrage to deal with Dragon types if you need it, but you also have Power Punch, and because you're so bulky, a sub Power Punch set can work very well. But you do get Roar or Dragon Tail to phase people out. You have Rock Slide, Signal Beam, Substitute, Super Fang, Super Power. You have all these electric type stab moves. You have U-turn and Volt Switch, like I said before. Eelektross is a very, very good Pokemon and can do a lot of different things. And yeah, it just be ready for anything with this thing because it can do so much. And again, the most popular set is the Assault Vest set in my opinion, but it can do a lot of work in other sets. And again, it's got a great ability in Levitate, making it immune to its only weakness. So just be careful if you are using it and the opponent has a Mold Breaker mon, because Earthquake will hit it and it will probably take it out because most mons with Mold Breaker are extremely powerful. But yeah, that's Eelektross. Just be very careful when using it because it can wear down pretty easily, but it can do so well in the format if you use it right. Next up, at number 4, is Xurkitree, the Ultra Beast. And Xurkitree has, I'll start with the ability because it's an amazing one. It has access to Beast Boost, and Beast Boost is a terrific ability. It basically gives you a +1 in whatever stat is your highest if you take out a Pokemon. And that's very useful when you're a mon that has 173 base special attack, which is ridiculous. It hits, what is it, over 500, I think? Does it hit over 500, or does it just barely miss it? Yeah, it just barely misses 500 special attack, and that's just, still, it's just phenomenal. But then you have a decent speed tier at 83. It's not the best, but it's not the worst, and when you run a Choice Scarf for this set, it can put in a lot of damage, because if they don't have an effective electric type switch in, then you're just going to run through an entire team, especially if you are Choice Scarfed. But yeah, Xurkitree has really decent stats all around, and I believe if you decide to make it a, Jolly Nature with 0 attack IV, with 0 attack, no, you can't, never mind. I thought it worked like Hartana, where you could get a boost in speed, but unfortunately you cannot, so you're always going to get that boost in special attack because of that ridiculous 173 base special attack stat. But yeah, enough about its stats. It's very well rounded. 83 HP is decent, 71 its defense is not the best, but it can take a hit or two if needed. But then its attack stat, you're never going to use its attack stat with the ridiculous special attack stat that this thing has. It's almost 100 points difference. But yeah, Xurkitree also has really impressive options for setup. It has access to Tail Glow, it's one of the only mons that does get it, and you have access to Calm Mind as well, which can be very useful depending on what you're trying to do. But yeah, you also get Dazzling Gleam, you have Discharge, Energy Ball, you have Grass Knot for those heavier opponents, you have access to Dual Screens, you have Signal Beam to deal with grass types, you have your ridiculous amounts of Electric Stab, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, even if you want to be physical, Thunder Wave, and Volt Switch. And then looking down the list, you have access to Electric Terrain, and I believe you have access to Hypnosis as well. And normally I wouldn't point out these moves, but when you're using a Xurkitree, you can run a Psychium Z for Hypnosis, or you can run an Electrium Z for for Electric Terrain. And basically what those two do is they give you a boost in speed, a +1 boost in speed, while using their actual effects. So if you use the Hypnosis, you have a chance to land Hypnosis. It's like 50% or 55% or something. If you land it, the opposing Pokemon is asleep, and then you can get that +1 in speed and just go for a Tail Glow and basically go for game after that, especially if you have the right 2 coverage moves. If not, you can go for Z Electric Terrain, which gives you that +1 boost in speed, and it sets up the terrain so that way your electric attacks are doing tons more damage. And again, that helps you go for game as well. Xurkitree, in my opinion, is one of the best late game sweepers in the game, late game cleaners, whatever it may be. So just be careful when you're facing it, and always come prepared with either a Scarfer that's faster than this thing, or with something that can live hits. Yeah, that's Xurkitree. Just be careful when you're up against it, and you should be fine, because it has its own weaknesses, like every Pokemon does. Coming at number 3, though, we have Jolteon, and Jolteon is the OG electric type in my opinion. I consider it more OG, more original than Pikachu, Raichu, whatever, because of my connection to it back when I was playing Pokemon Red and Blue, whatever. And yeah, just it always helped out to have a good electric type on your team, and its stats are kind of put all in the right places. Its HP, attack, and defense are all kind of trash, 65, 65, and 60, but its special attack at 110 and its speed at 130 are just phenomenal. It's the definition of a fast electric type. It's got access to Volt Absorb and Quick Feet, so you can have 2 good abilities, which is, I think this might be the only one, this is the first one on the list at this point, sorry, that has 2 abilities, so it is a bit of a boost. And because of Quick Feet, you can outspeed mons that would be faster than you, certain Choice Craft users, certain Megas, and yeah, even mons are just naturally outspeeding you, like Excelgor or something like that. But yeah, Volt Absorb lets you be immune to other electric types and lets you come in on those moves for free while replenishing your HP, so that you can run a potential Life Orb set and really just come in and keep taking hits from your recoil and dishing out damage. But you see, it gets access to Baton Pass and Volt Switch for momentum. You have access to agility. With Baton Pass, you can send that into a slower mon and really get some big hits off. But then you have access to Discharge. You have all the hidden powers. You have Light Screen and Reflect. You have Quick Attack for priority. You have Shadow Ball, Signal Beam, all the electric stab you need, and then you also have down lower. It's one of the most interesting moves in the format, I believe. But you have access to where is it? Synchro Noise. It's somewhere. Synchro Noise right here. Basically, which means if you're facing off against another electric type, you can use Synchro Noise, and it'll do, I think it's base 100 damage or something. It's 120 base power that only affects mons of the same typing as you. So if you're going up against electric types, you can just smack them with a Synchro Noise, and it does a ton of damage. But yeah, next up though, we also have you have Yawn. You have a Workup to increase your special attack. You have Store Power if you're running a weird set. But yeah, you have a lot of different options, and Magnet Rise as well can be used in the right situations because you are faster than most ground types. You can get off the ground and then just fire off a HP Ice or an HP Grass or whatever you may be using. But yeah, that's Jolteon. Really good mon. I really suggest using it. I'm having a lot of fun with it in the UPC right now. So yeah. Oh, it also gets Heal Bell and Wish, if I'm not mistaken, right? Heal Bell and Wish. Yeah, those are 2 really good moves that aren't usually going to be used on Jolteon because of its low defenses, but it can really because it's so fast, it can get off a Wish before it dies, and then you can send out your sweeper and then go for game right there. But yeah, number 2 on the list is Zapdos, and Zapdos was on my top 6 flying types list. I think it was last week, I believe, and so I'm not going to go too much into it, but I just wanted to say that Zapdos is a really good electric type user as well. It has great special attack at 125, decent speed at 100, but then amazing stats all around to be able to take the hits that you need to take and then dish out the damage that you wanted to. You have access to a ton of different moves. You have access to Ancient Power, you have Extra Sensory, you have your electric stabs, you have your hidden powers, you have Heat Wave as well for effective fire type coverage against those grass types that might be bugging you. You have Roost, Signal Beam, you have your electric stabs, like I said before, Tailwind, U-Turn, and Volt Switch is good to have. And then yeah, but you have like a lot of different good moves that you can use, and Zapdos does make an effective Z user depending on what you need it to do or what your team is lacking. But you also have Ominous Wind, you have access to Skydrop, which can be very useful in certain situations. I believe I mentioned that last week. And yeah, Zapdos is a great mon to use. Just be careful when using it because it is weak to rocks. And oh yeah, it does also get defog, which is great to have. Electric is a decent typing, I'd say, and electric flying is an even better typing, so just make sure that you use Zapdos to the best of its abilities, because it really can do a lot of work against a lot of different teams. Finally though, at number 1 we have Thundurus, and we have Thundurus-Therian here and not Thundurus Incarnate, and the reason I have this one over the other is because Thundurus Incarnate, I believe, puts it is better as a flying type, as a annoyance. Thundurus-Therian, however, is a better electric type in my opinion. Its speed is only 10 points lower, but it has 145 special attack, and that is just ridiculous. It's the second highest special attack on this list, but it also has access to a ridiculously wide move pool. Like I said before, you have access to Nasty Plot and Agility, which will allow you to set up and sweep teams whenever you want to, basically. You have access to a great physical move pool and an amazing special move pool. I'll just run down them really quickly. You have Brick Break, Crunch, Dark Pulse, Discharge, Flash Cannon, Focus Blast, Foul Play, Grass Knot, all the hidden powers, Knockoff. You're one of the only electric types that does get Knockoff, like Eelektross. You have Psychic, Sludge Bomb, and Sludge Wave, Superpower, all the electric stab. You have U-Turn as well to get out of there, as well as Volt Switch. And to top it off, you have an amazing stat pool that just allows you to really create a very scary mon, especially if you pair it with a Z Crystal. But yeah, and you have 2 amazing abilities, and well, only 1 amazing ability, my bad. I thought it had defined as well, it's my mistake. But no, you have an amazing ability in Volt Absorb, just like Jolteon, that allows you to replenish your HP. So if you're coming in on rocks and then someone goes for a Volt Switch on you, you're going to replenish all that health back, and you're going to be in a great position to potentially sweep or just break holes through your opponent's entire team. But yeah, those are the top 6 electric types in the format. Make sure that you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new for more content. Also comment down below what you think the top 6 electric types in the format are. And don't forget to vote in the straw poll link in the description. I believe I said it was between the top 6 fighting types and the top 6 normal types. If I'm wrong, well, screw it. This is what it is. It's top 6 fighting or top 6 normal. Whatever I said before, forget it. It's this, top 6 fighting versus top 6 normal. So make sure you vote in the straw poll link in the description. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye.